Hi guys, Luke here of SimBoxx, and this is my breakdown and prediction for this week's middleweight clash between Eubank Jr and Marcus Morrison. This fight goes down on Sky Sports box office May 1st as part of the Derek Chisora versus Joesph Parker undercard. Now this middleweight clash coming for a little bit of criticism when it was first announced, with Eubank promising a lot at middleweight. He said he wants to take on the likes of Canelo, Ryo Murata, Gennady Golovkin, and then it was a little bit underwhelming on paper that he took on Marcus Morrison. Eubank Jr, of course, he carries the Eubank name, and that's carried a lot of weight on his shoulders, a lot of pressure. And this far, at 31 years of age, he's not really delivered on the promise that we was led to believe. Record of 29-2, 22 big wins by knockout, but those two losses on Eubank's record have been against the elite, the likes of Billy Joe Saunders and George Groves, both defeating Eubank quite soundly on points decisions. And it goes to show that his Achilles heel maybe is against boxers that are technically sounder than him, that are more efficient with their boxing skills, their boxing ability far outweighs Eubank's. What Eubank does possess is tremendous physical skills, physical attributes. He is a machine. He looks like he's chiseled from stone. He constantly works. He's constantly in the gym. He's been out of the ring since December of 2019, and even that fight was a bit of a bizarre 2-round TKO victory, but that was due to an injury suffered by Matvey Korobov, which was quite unfortunate given that Korobov would have been a good test for Eubank, and if Eubank had gone a few rounds with Korobov and maybe defeated him in more of a conclusive manner, we could have took a lot more from that, and we could have made more of a judgment on Eubank. But it's still a win at the end of the day, and it's probably up there with James DeGale in terms of the best win on Eubank's ledger at the minute. With Marcus Morrison, he's 28 years of age, 23-3. Marcus Morrison, again, as an athlete, he's in his prime. He's always physically ready. He's very physically capable. Losses on Marcus Morrison's record have come against the likes of Ty and Booth, Jason Welborn, and it's kind of left a little bit to be desired. But he's on a good run of form. He's picked up some low-key wins on M22 promotion cards. He had a career-best victory in 2019 when he knocked out Emanuele Blandamura, picking up the WBC International Silver title at middleweight. So there's a little bit of form there for Marcus Morrison, and he's going to come in there full of confidence. He's, of course, backed by Joe Gallagher. Now in the corner of Eubank is a new trainer, the great Roy Jones Jr. And I think this is quite an astute move from Eubank. This is going to be the first fight under the guidance of Roy Jones Jr, who is an all-time great, we all know. And I think the fact that they've spent a majority of the time in lockdown, the enforced pandemic lockdown, will bear fruits moving forward for Eubank. He's been able to finally plant his feet, move from out of the shadow of his dad. We know his dad was always involved in his career. Whether you agree with that or disagree with that, that's up in the air. But the fact that he's gone and got a full-time trainer, somebody that's got an ego bigger than his, so he'll be able to hopefully put Eubank in his place, which has always been a bit of a problem with trainers or people trying to influence his career in the past. Moving on to my prediction of this fight, with all due respect, if Eubank is to deliver on the promise he has long held and the ability he long said he has and the goals he wishes to achieve, he needs to be dealing with the likes of Marcus Morrison. But if he takes his eye off the ball with somebody as capable as Marcus Morrison, then he could be in for a tough night's work. Marcus Morrison is very strong. He can be very capable on his day. And Eubank, although we've seen that he's got a granite chin, he's got a great engine and he can go the distance, if he takes his eye off the ball, he could be in for a tough night's work. And if he doesn't deal with Marcus Morrison in the opening rounds and he takes it easy and he doesn't really put his foot on the pedal, who knows what might happen on Saturday. But I can't sit on the fence with this. I'm going to make a prediction, and I think Eubank makes a statement. He goes looking for those bigger fights at middleweight that he's long desired, and I think he gets Marcus Morrison out of there inside 6 rounds. But he's got to keep his eye on the ball. He's got to keep mentally strong, and he's got to keep focused. Guys, as always, let me know in the comments below how you see this fight going. Do you think it's Eubank getting the victory, Could Marcus Morrison score a huge upset? Let me know in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button. Check out SimBoxx across all social media on Instagram and Twitter. And I'll catch you on the next one.